that he went to the dean of the School of Medicine and had an interview with him to find out about this Sabbath thing. But there was a time when people would come apart from the activities of the week. And they would fellowship with one another, and they would praise God, their Creator. And they said that this is one of the keys to health and longevity. They said. Do you believe that? Amen. Now, can you choose that? Yes. See, we can choose. We have a choice in the matter. And they did not have any genetic advantage. As a matter of fact, Dr. Wareham himself, his parents died at a relatively young age. So he didn't have any genetic advantage. And the centenarians in Loma Linda, it's not because all of them were born in January and were firstborns to young mothers. No. They were born just like us, any time of the year. Mothers that were young, medium, some a little older. But I tell you what, they made a choice, and they got some of the consequences. Longevity, yes, live long and prosper, but prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. That's an issue. God doesn't want just for us to be physically healthy. He doesn't just want us to live longer, as pleasant as that might be for most of us. He wants us to live also better. So now I'm going to deal with an issue in the next few minutes called our ABCs. You know, I am convinced that information alone doesn't make choices. I can give you information. You received information last week, and you received information the week before, and you received information the week before. And of course, you've received information from other venues, from other people, all along. You get things on television, magazines, radio, television, whatever, right? So the information alone doesn't do it. But there is a process that we can go through, and I'd like to help you with this process using the ABC. So you know what, this thing, I am now realizing that it would do better if it were here, right? I don't know how to get this thing. Is that it? How is that? No? All right, good. Yeah, I think so. Good. So, we'll deal with the ABC. The first thing is the A. A is for awareness. Can you say that with me? Awareness. You see, if you're not aware of something, it will make no difference to you. You're driving along and you're not aware that the light is red. You're not aware. So you drive through and you're not aware that that truck that's coming is not going to stop. The fact that you're not aware does not excuse you from getting hit by that truck. But it would be better if you were aware. Isn't that right? But if you're just aware, does that save you? No. Okay. So you're driving along, and you don't see the light, and you don't see the truck. So somebody in the car, translate that, your wife, says, the light is red, and the truck is coming. And you say, You see, awareness alone, A, doesn't help you unless you believe. So what B? Believe. So first you become aware, and then you have to believe. Right? Believe that what is being said, what is being told to you, what you're learning, believe that it's true. So A is for, let's rehearse this. A is for aware. B is for believe. Okay. Now when you become aware and you believe, choose. You can choose. Okay? But now, we oftentimes use that C, we choose, and we choose intellectually. And I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about us. We choose intellectually. And we say, oh yes, this is, yeah, I should do this. Have you been there? Have you? Yeah? I should do this. And then a little while later, but you made a choice. So, if you go with A, B, C, then do it. Okay? That's what the D is for. Do it. Okay? So you got that? We got up to D now. A, B, C, D. A is for? B is for? C is for? D is for? Do it. Okay, now, here comes the point. Many people, when they're doing something, they have a way of looking at things that's different. And let me give you an example. Let's suppose today, while we're talking and we were going to sing, I was flipping through the hymnal, and the paper cut my finger. Anybody had a paper cut? You know? Okay. And you know, sometimes it can go pretty deep, so I got a deep paper cut, and it's bleeding, and so I do this. I don't know why people do this, but we do it all the time, right? Okay, so I have this paper cut. And then, now this happened, let's suppose this happened just before we went up to speak. Okay? And now I am here, and we're about to close, and I look at my finger and I say, man, that thing is still there. It hasn't healed yet. What would you be thinking if I made that comment? That how come my finger isn't healed yet? Too quick. You'd think, where's this guy come from? Mexico. That's where I came. Because we understand that paper cuts don't heal in 15, 20, 30 minutes. It doesn't heal in 20 minutes. Okay, so now let's change the scenario. I get a paper cut. It's still cut. You know about it. And you know that it's still there. And then we come back to church New Year's. And you guys are here. Okay? And we're greeting each other, and I shake your hand, and as you shake my hand, I say, that hurts. And you say, what happened? You say, well, I had this paper cut. It's now New Year's, January 1, and I still have the paper cut. What are you thinking? This guy is sick, right? How could he still have a paper cut that he got in October all the way in January? There's something wrong. So you ask, did you cut it again? No, it's the same thing. It's there. As a matter of fact, I was bleeding this morning. I don't know what's going on, right? You're saying there's something here that's not right. Okay, so now, I'm going to tell you this. Many times, we become aware, we believe, we choose, and we do, but we do not have reasonable expectations. So E is for having reasonable expectations. But you know, E, capital letter E, has three things sticking out like this, or at least in this direction. In your direction, like this, right? That's what that E looks like. So the top one is for expectations, reasonable expectations, right? Well, if we're going to have expectations, God challenges us, and I challenge you, to evaluate what you're doing. Don't just do because, you know, some doctor from somewhere comes and says something. You're doing it. You have reasonable expectations. You need to evaluate whether you're getting the kind of results that you expect to get. Does that make sense? Don't just take somebody's, you know, fly-by-night word for this, okay? But the third part of the E is this. Over the years, I've heard people say things like this. You know, I don't like this stuff, but I'll do it if it kills me. By George, I'm going to do this if it kills me. And you know what? It probably will. It's good to have determination, but there's another choice that we can make. We can choose to enjoy the journey. You see, enjoyment is also a choice. Okay? Even though sometimes you might go a bit kicking and, but we can choose to enjoy it. So, we have A for awareness. B is for believing. C is for choosing. D is for doing it. And E is for expectations, evaluation, and enjoyment. Okay? Does that sound good? Okay, so now we're up to E. So now we move on. And we're almost to the end of our alphabet. Because I used to make New Year's resolutions. How many of you can raise your hand and say, I used to make New Year's resolutions. I don't make them anymore. I used to make New Year's resolutions. There are several people who used to make New Year's resolutions. How many of you say, I still make New Year's resolutions? A few people. Okay. Now, do you know why I used to make New Year's resolutions and I don't anymore? I found, what did you say? I'm correct. Yeah. He has it right. He used to make New Year's resolutions. Okay. Never did. You observe people who did. Okay, well here's the thing. I remember very clearly the last year that I made New Year's resolutions. You see, I knew what my history had been before. So I was determined. I wasn't going to make a big long list of stuff. No, I was going to choose some very careful things. Right? Just these 3 things. I was living in Pennsylvania at the time. And I remember New Year's morning, I said, okay, this is it. Just these 3 things. Just these. I tell you, my success was great for the morning. By the afternoon, one of the resolutions was already broken. By the afternoon. And this is ridiculous. Well, the problem is, oftentimes, even though we make the right choice and we move along and we're planning to enjoy, okay? The F is very important, and that's for follow through. We must follow through. So even if you break your resolution or you deviate a little bit or you kind of go back on your word, follow through, right? And you follow through until it becomes an H. And you know what H is for? Habit. It must become a habit. Okay? Listen, you don't have to worry in the morning about what you're going to do if you have a habit of what it is that you do in the morning that you prepare to go to school or go to work. Right? You don't have to think too much. You kind of go on autopilot. And you go. Right? If your days are very programmed, when you do program things according to your habit, you don't have to worry and think and whatnot. There are many people in the United States who do not wake up until they're driving to work. Now that's kind of scary, but that's the truth. They're driving to work when they finally wake up and realize, hey, I'm going to work. Why? Because they did everything else automatically, right? Hi, honey. And they go, right? Get in the car, drive out, and then they wake up, especially if they hear a horn. All right, no. So there you go. So the issue is, the alphabet works very well if we follow through until it becomes a habit. So now let's go over our alphabet again. Okay? Last time we go into the alphabet, let's go. A is for? B is for? C is for? D is for? E is for? Expectation, evaluation, enjoyment. Okay. F is for? And H is for? Habit. How do you like those alphabets? Huh? Is it wonderful? Wonderful. Good. And you think I'm a good English teacher? What's happening? Excuse me? G.